Howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day in Hokey Smokes. Well, first of all, remember, no matter who you are valid, but boy, oh boy, am I tired. I mean, super tired. Past couple weeks, been having issues with my heart doing all sorts of flippity floppies. Now, it's done this my whole life, and it's driven me crazy, because I've never known if other people have this, or if they do the same type. And I've gone to the doctors, and nothing has ever come of it. And it's always just done little bits of flippity floppities. About 2 weeks ago, it hurt, and it's been doing it again yesterday. Going to bed right around 1 o'clock in the morning last night. Hopping up onto my bed, and it did it again. So I spent about a half hour. Bloody. Some bloody saliva, yeah. About a half an hour debating whether or not I should get up and go to the hospital. Because I don't want to kick off anytime soon. So I got up and went. So, all night I was there at the hospital. Got back here about 5:30 in the morning. I had a whole bunch of leads attached to me. They did an EKG. They did a blood draw. And finally, after all these years, 40 years, he comes in, the doctor, and tells me, okay, because we've got you hooked up to this, we've been taking a look. You've got a lot of what we call PVCs, Premature Ventricular Contractions. One part of your heart, you know, because you got 4 chambers, you know, 2 atria and then 2 ventricles, beats fast, out of rhythm. And the rest of your heart is still working at normal speed. So there's a pause. And because there's a pause, normally, depending on the situation, which is why I'm just giving this as a variable, your heart beats X amount of blood. When this happens, your heart then has to, when it picks up the regular timing there, it has to pump like X plus 2 amount of blood. And that's a bigger beat. That's a heavy beat. You're going to feel that. And our systems are hardwired so that if something happens to like our cardiac systems, we go, because something's wrong. And so that's joyous, but it is the most common and also non-life-threatening heart irregularity. So it's not going to kill me, which is good. I mean, I've lived this long, so obviously it's not going to kill me yet, but it's not going to kill me. The thing is, though, there are medications to help treat it if it happens too much. Because it's not going to kill you, but it is it's a shocker each time it happens, because once again, your body goes, something wrong. So if that's happening a lot, and you're having difficulty functioning because of that, yeah, they got meds that will take care of it. It's not that bad for me. I don't really want to deal with any symptoms for any meds. I'm already on, I'm on losartan, blood pressure medication, guanfacine, which is a blood pressure medication, but it also treats some forms of ADD, Wellbutrin, an antidepressant for ADD, gabapentin for the nerve pain. So I don't want any more meds in my system. I've had a lot where my blood was a soup of medications. So I'd much rather keep it, you know, mostly blood. Yay. So that's where I've been. Didn't sleep. Didn't sleep yesterday. Didn't sleep last night because I was at the hospital. 5:30 in the morning, got back here. So at about 6 o'clock until almost 10 o'clock, I just lay in bed. I didn't sleep, but I just lay there because I needed to at least relax and rest. And laying in bed and resting, if you're not fully awake, You know, if you're wide awake and tossing and turning and like making movements, that's not going to do it. But if you're semi-resting, if not sleeping, it's still good for you. So I am exhausted. I did not sleep. So, yay. But that's what that is. And again, now I know. 40 years I have been pulling my hair out trying to figure out, is this going to kill me or is it nothing? And now, at least I've got a name I can point to and go, okay, I ain't gonna die because of this. So that's good. And now I am overly warm. It sounds like my heater is going on, but it shouldn't be. Ugh. The systems here are weird. And also with my ears, I got a fan on in the one window, I got a fan on in the other window, and I got a fan on down here. And I'm still too warm, and that's joyous. So yes, and on the non-hear stuff that's horrific layer, talk about, I'm not sure. I did manage to record some Far Against Darkness yesterday. Now I'm going to talk about the whole situation because I've mentioned before, the way our brains are set up, if you talk about something before you do it, your brain counts that as working towards it. When it's not, you're just talking about it. So if it's a 3-step process and you talk about it, now it's a 4-step process. So if you don't talk about a project, you can actually get it done. But me with my ADHD and my executive function and dysfunction issues, it's been hard, but I've wanted to get this done. So I have wanted to do a mixture of systems to do the solo RPG stuff. The character of Compton, a Goya from the continent of Lanloa, living amongst the Dwarlen on the continent of Lanloa, had come from the southern, more equatorial continent where all the Goya are, which the Goya, human, the Dwarlen are basically elves, and the Alvandri are the dwarves that surfaced a couple hundred years back and have made their way about the world. Here's one thing I haven't talked about too. The dwarves were forced up and out. They started off near the center and the surface of the core of the earth, and they were chased up by something that has taken so long. They have taken the form of the Elvandri they are now. They have no knowledge of what they were and what they used to be, and they refuse to go back underground because the thing that chased them up and what they feel when they go down there again, they just won't. But this world, like our world, is covered by 70% water. The Elvandri came up all over the surface of this world. 70% of them died almost instantly. Because when you come up at the bottom of the ocean and you crack open the magical seal that separates things, all the weight of that water is like a steel spike being slammed straight down. And the weight of that water and the speed at which it's coming in will compress the air around you into small, tiny areas that are just incredibly hot. And any living thing inside of that will just be spaghettified and baked to ashes. So it didn't hurt when 70% of all the Elvandri died when they breached the surface underneath water. So it was fast. And the ones that came up on the polar ice caps, that didn't end well for them either. So it's only the ones that managed to come up on the continents that weren't horrible, where they were able to actually hang on and survive. Thumbs up for that. But that's why I did Far Against Darkness. Now the creatures, because I haven't gone through the book, but they talk about goblins and orcs, and well, there's not really any of those races in this world. So there are other types, just giving them different names. There's elves and dwarves in the book, but except for the Elvandri, the Habu-Hutal, which is effectively the human being of the goblin type races, and the just regular dwarven and humans are all roughly equivalent. So breaking them up by species, elf, doesn't really make sense in this setting. Dwarf does, except they don't have a lot of the dwarven advantages that are given in the book. So I have a 4-person group, of course, with my character Compton and 3 others, where he got, well, she, it's supposed to be a she, but I keep saying he when talking, so Compton is sort of not quite sure yet. But Compton joins this group as a fighter, and they hang around for a week, and then they find out that they're compatible. The last fighter got eaten when they were heading off to this place, so they came back to find someone else. Thumbs up for that. And now they're adventuring in there with me making some decisions on the fly about various things. So thumbs up. Hopefully it's good. I'm gonna have I need to spend a little time, but I don't want to spend all day doing this either, so yay. Hopefully it'll all go well and people will enjoy it. But past that, I've just been watching videos. This morning I went out for a walk to talk to my sister on the phone. And then I am going to take it easy today because I'm exhausted. I am very exhausted. I'm so tired. Now, even though I need to record more Fallout New Vegas, of course, because I'm almost there. And talking about Fallout New Vegas, I, just on a quick thing that I heard, makes me wonder now. There's Father Elijah in this Dead Money DLC. Now, I'm going to be wrong, I'm quite sure of it. But Father Elijah has been kidnapping people to bring people into the Sierra Madre and do something and get stuff done for this heist to get some form of old world technology. We never see Father Elijah. When I came across Dog, and Dog was ready to blow up the whole place, at one point, just before everything went south, Father Elijah was talking and said, "Don't let this happen," something along the lines of, "You idiot, he's going to kill all of us." Father Elijah included himself in that. Father Elijah wouldn't have been able to go through the mist and the ghost people to get to the Sierra Madre. That's why Father Elijah has had people coming in to get into the Sierra Madre. Based on just that one thing that I heard, I have a feeling, and like I say, I am prepared to be completely wrong. I just have a feeling that Father Elijah is probably an AI or a computer and part of the Sierra Madre. So we shall see what happens. But I've also been playing, just for my own sake, more Fallout 3. And, oh boy, with a huge update for Fallout 4. A game that Fallout 1 is hard for me to get into. Fallout 2 is even harder. But I do enjoy them when I play them. Fallout 3 really sets the feel of how the place feels for me on top of 1 and 2. Fallout New Vegas cements it. Fallout has a feeling for me. I can't point to any one thing and go, it's this. But I can point to a whole handful of them and go, it's somewhere in those things. And for me, Fallout 4 does not feel like a Fallout game. It just doesn't feel right. The intro for me, I'm pissed off about just because of the voice character, the whole the only option of 2 people. It's like, no, I'm irritated about a whole bunch of stuff on that. But it's just, no, it does not feel right for me. I mean, for other people, they go, oh, the game, the guns are finally right, and the combat feels good. And I hate that. I hate the combat. It feels wrong. I do not like Fallout 4 combat in the slightest. Everything just feels off to me. And again, I can't go, it's because of this. But I can go, it's because of these. And it just has that wrong feel. So with this 22 gigabyte update for the PC version, which I guess it was good that they updated it for console, aside from the whole Creation Club paid DLC stuff like that, where it's not even paid DLC, that's not going to do it. From everything I have seen online, not only was this, it didn't change anything that anyone can find, but it broke so much stuff. So yeah, I wasn't interested in playing Fallout 4 again, and I'm really not interested anymore. I have played up to the part where you get to Diamond City, and then there's Nick Valentine the synth, which I still have a big issue with synths because, to my understanding, one of the big breaking points was like transistors and all that. And so computers are done in such a way in the world because of certain things. And then all of a sudden in Fallout 4, oh yeah, there's transistors, now we have synths that can perfectly copy a human being. Out of nowhere. So, alright, but it just doesn't feel right. I've opened up the first Sanctuary settlement, I've talked to some people in Diamond City, and I'm never gonna load it up again, because it just doesn't feel right. The only character that I really like is Nick Valentine, the detective, and that's just because of the personality. I hate the fact that he's a synth. I think that's stupid. I hate synths in the game. Fallout 4 does not feel like Fallout to me. So, but that's just me. But I'm doing lots of stuff, and I got lots of games, and I still want to do them, and thumbs up for that, and thank you each and every person that watches. I don't have any of my Squishmallows around, but if you could type flip phone in the comments to let me know that you've watched this far, that would be very cool. And also, of course, to let the YouTube algorithm know that people watch my videos, so that would be awesome. Thank you much. And of course, for each and every person that is patron, thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated. You take me from a badly hurting monkey to just a hurting monkey. I appreciate that. Life in these United States right now is not all that fun. And so anybody that helps me out so that it's a little bit easier for me, thank you so very much. I appreciate the sacrifice. For everybody that leaves me a comment, thumbs up and thank you. I can't type as many as I would like, but I do what I can. And wow, the gurney that I was on last night. Oh, this was a nightmare of pain while I was there. And of course, if you want to get things done today, please do your best. But if you can't, don't beat yourself up. It does not help you get it done the next day. It just beats you up for no good purpose. So be good to yourself. It's nice. So until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And of course, later on this day, there's going to be the adventures of Compton and the crew in the dungeons in the continent of Karthkag, among the Hutal, the Apani Hutal, the Api, the Habu Hutal, the Hobbs, and the Orkani, the Orcs. Thumbs up. So you take care, and I'll talk to you later. I am so freaking tired.